Hi, welcome to Room 9, our region's largest classroom. I'm Mrs. Williams. I teach first grade in the Windsor C1 School District. That's in Imperial, Missouri. This is
Mrs. Forth. Hi, everybody. I'm from the Rockwood School District. I'm excited to be here with you today as we learn a little bit about reading and math. So before we start, we really want to know,
where are you? Are you near the airport? Top Golf? Are you out at Six Flags?
That's where I live.
Yay! Are you near the Magic House? Closer to the zoo? Maybe you are close to the St. Louis Arch or the Mississippi River. That's where I'm at. I'm a little bit south of St. Louis in Herculaneum near the Mississippi River.
It looks like we have friends from all over St. Louis joining us today.
Thanks for joining us, guys.
Very exciting. Okay, let's go ahead and start with our welcome poem. I'm going to point to the words. Feel free to join along with me as I say them. Ready? Welcome, welcome, everyone. How are you today? We are so glad to be with you, learning math and reading too.
And speaking of how are you today, we need to do a zone check because before we get ready to learn, each day we check in on our body and brain. Really smart scientists that study brains know that happy, calm brains do the best learning. If you are in the green zone, that means that you are calm, you are happy, and you are ready to complete your work, help others, and reach your daily goals. And this is the hand signal. So if you are in green zone, show me you're green and good to go. If you are in the blue zone, you might be feeling a little slow and low today. You might need to draw a picture, get a hug, or think some happy thoughts to be ready to learn. Your hand signal will look like this. If you are in the yellow zone, you're maybe a little frustrated, anxious, or maybe just really excited in a good way, but not ready to learn yet. So you need to take some deep breaths, get a hug, or talk to an adult that can help you be ready. If you are in the red zone, you have flipped your lid. Your hand signal looks like this, and you're probably not learning with this right now. You're very angry or upset about something. You need to stop, get help from an adult, take some deep breaths, and check the size of your problem. So show me your hand signal. Are you green zone and good to go? I hope you are. If you are blue, yellow, or red, choose one of our strategies to help you get ready to learn.
Are you guys ready to get started today? All right, before we start, let's do our Room 9 chant. Can you read this along with us? Okay. I am smart. I am kind. I am brave. I am
me.
Hi, readers. Welcome back. Mrs. Forth here. Yesterday, if you were with me, we read the book Big and Small by Alex Latimer. And I've chosen another book by the same author for us to read together today. You might recognize this one. You ever seen this book? The Boy Who Called Ninja. And again, it's written by Alex Latimer and published by Peachtree Publishing. So thank you to both the author and the publisher for allowing us to read this book today. Yesterday, we spent some time previewing the book. That means taking a look at the book before you even start reading. We looked at the cover, we looked at the title, we checked the back to see if the author left us a little bit of information so our brains could get ready to read. And then as we were reading, we spent a lot of time making predictions. When you make a prediction, you take the information that you know and think about what might happen next or what might happen in the story. You guys did a really good job of making predictions about Big and Small. So we're going to practice previewing and predicting again today. And then at the end, I want to also spend a little bit of time making connections. Readers make connections to help them better understand the story. And so we're going to be making connections between the two books that Alex Latimer wrote that we're reading together. Are you ready to get started? Okay, so let's preview the book, The Boy Who Cried Ninja. And remember, to preview is to take a look at the book and think about what's going to happen before you start reading. You might do that by looking at the cover, looking at the title, making some predictions, and seeing if there's a back blurb on the back. What are you noticing? Yeah, so here's a boy with a big speech bubble. You're right. Alex Latimer does like those speech bubbles. We saw that a lot in this book. You're already making a connection before we even got to start reading. And the ninja too. You noticed, yeah, in the book Pig and Small, Ninja was actually in the movie that Pig and Bug were watching. Do you remember that? Do you remember this page? Yeah, it's the same ninja. The Boy Who Cried Ninja. So there is a story about a boy who cried wolf. Have you ever heard of that story before? The story goes something like this. There's a boy who he kind of told fibs, and he liked to get the attention and play tricks on people. And in the town, he would say, "There's a wolf!" And everyone would be like, "Ah!" And he thought it was so funny. But after a while, people in the town realized that he was just playing tricks on them. Until one day, there actually was a wolf who came into town. And guess what happened? When the boy said, "Wolf!" he cried, "Wolf!" That's right. Nobody believed him, but there really was a wolf. So I'm wondering, is this going to be similar to that story? Did Alex Latimer take that story and create his own called The Boy Who Cried Ninja? Ninja! Let's check the back and see if there's a blurb for us. Sure is. Cake stealing ninjas, tea slurping pirates, time traveling monkeys. Mischief is afoot, and no one believes poor Tim's explanations for any of it. So kind of similar that nobody believes the boy. Would you believe somebody who said that there's a cake-stealing ninja? Or a tea-slurping pirate? Or a time-traveling monkey? Yeah, I don't know if I would believe it either. Are you ready to find out? Okay, here we go. The Boy Who Cried Ninja. By Alex Latimer. Once there was a boy named Tim who no one believed. When his mom asked him what happened to the last slice of cake, he told her the truth. "It was a ninja!" cried Tim. First, the ninja crept into the house. Then he kicked it into the air and ate it in one bite. What do you think Mom's thinking right now? No way, there's no ninjas in our house. When his dad asked him where the hammer was, he told him the truth. An astronaut landed in the yard and needed to fix his spaceship. "He's got your hammer." And when Grandpa asked him if he'd done his homework, Tim told him the truth. "A giant squid ate my whole book bag while I was off buying an ice cream." Can you make a prediction? What do you think the people in Tim's life is thinking right now? That he's a fibber? Yeah, that's kind of like that story I told you about the boy who cried wolf. Nobody seems to believe Tim. Do you? The pictures make it seem real. You think it's all in his imagination? I don't know. Tim's parents were very upset with him for telling lies. So they told him to go and rake up leaves in the yard and think about what he'd done. But the more he thought about it, the more he thought that maybe he really should lie. Then no one would be mad at him. So he really feels like he's telling the truth, but he doesn't like people being mad, so now he's thinking maybe he should lie. That's not going to solve anything. So the next time a pirate jumped out of the cupboard, arr, and drank all the tea straight from the pot, he owned up. He owned up. Squawk! And the next time a sunburned crocodile landed on the roof and accidentally broke the TV antenna, he confessed. He owned up. He confessed. What do those things mean? He owned up to it. He confessed. Yeah, he said it was him. But is it really him? Hard to say, isn't it? Yeah. And the next time a time-traveling monkey appeared on top of the TV, in his underpants no less, and started throwing pencils at Grandpa while he was sleeping, ow! Tim said it was all his fault. I did it. But look at that face. What are you thinking right now? Some of you think, yeah, he didn't really do it. And some of you are like, he totally did it. And he's just admitting the truth. That's what's tricky about this book. It's hard to tell, isn't it? We have to keep reading to find out. But none of that helped. Tim's parents told him to go and water the vegetable garden and think about all the bad things he'd done. If he told the truth, he was in trouble. If he lied, he was in trouble. What could he do? Then he had an idea. He found some paper and some stamps, and he wrote 6 letters. You can see one, it says, Mr. Squid in the ocean. Let's read the letter. Dear you, there is a party at my house tomorrow. There will be plenty of cake, hammers, my new book bag, buckets of tea, TV antennas, and pencils. Please come. Me. Why does he want to have hammers and TV antennas at this party? Yeah, those are the things that they were getting into trouble with, right? He's trying to get them to come to his house. Why would he want to do that? Make a prediction, readers. Yeah, perhaps if he has everybody there, then Grandpa and Mom and Dad, they'll see them and believe him. Maybe. Let's read to find out. The next day was a Saturday. Dad was fixing the house. Grandpa was reading the newspaper, and Mom was vacuuming. Then the doorbell rang. Who could it be? Asked Grandpa. I'll get it, said Tim. There at the door stood a line of strange creatures. First a ninja, then an astronaut, a giant squid, a pirate, a crocodile, recently recovered from their sunburn, and a time-traveling monkey. Notice that it was pink when he was sunburned, and now he's back to green. Tim's parents could see that he'd been trying to tell the truth from the beginning. They said sorry and promised to buy him 100 ice creams. That's a lot of ice creams. As for the rest of them, Tim's parents were very upset. Go and rake all the leaves in the yard and think about what you've done, said his dad. Look at all those characters. When they had cleaned the whole yard, there really was a party. And no one ate all the cake. No one took anything without asking. No one swallowed a book bag. No one drank all the tea. No one broke the antenna. And no one threw pencils. It was the best party Tim had ever had. The end. Look at all that ice cream. So, readers, what did you think? Yeah. So I see some of you thinking they were real. Yeah. Some of you think this was just a made-up story. Both of those are okay. It's however you want to understand the story. So really quickly, those of you that were with me yesterday and today, let's talk about some things that we noticed that Alex Latimer likes to do in his books. He definitely likes to add speech bubbles. He did use some of the same characters. Oh, and the cake. We saw the cake in both. So he likes to draw and use the same characters and illustrations. There's speech bubbles. And in both books, they had a problem to solve, didn't they? Yeah, we see that in a lot of fiction stories, that there's characters that need to solve a problem. So as you're reading a fiction book today and every day, I want you to notice who the characters are and what problems they have, and see if you can read and find out how they solve that problem. It's time for you to go over to Mrs. Williams and practice some math. I have another book for you tomorrow, so I hope you decide to tune in and join me again. I'll see you next time.
Hey Room 9, it's time to get growing our math brains. And do you remember what we're learning about today? Yeah, it's money and coins. So by the time we're done learning together today, you should be able to say, I can, you say it, count and identify, you say it, pennies, nickels, dimes, and quarters. Yeah. So yesterday we learned a little bit about each of those coins, and I've got the front and back picture of each up here. Now when I point to each coin, I want you to say its name. Did you say penny? We say penny, penny, easily spent, copper, brown, and worth 1 cent. Now, a real penny is nowhere near this big, right? But I'm using these guys so you can see them a little better. This is what an actual penny looks like. It's kind of small, right? So on the front is Lincoln, and on the back is the Lincoln Memorial. Now, you can see that my penny is kind of old. It's not very coppery and shiny orange looking, it's brown. And do you remember, he's worth 1 cent. What's the name of this one? It's a nickel. And I like to say, nickel, nickel, thick and fat. You're worth 5 cents. I know that. And the reason we say a nickel is thick and fat is because if you compare it to other coins, its thickness is a little bigger. On the front, you will have President Jefferson, and then on the back is Monticello. That's an important historical building in our nation's history. Do you remember how much nickel is worth? It's 5 cents. Now, pennies and nickels both have smooth edges, but our next two coins will have bumpy sides. And that is one way that I like to, that's one trick I like to use to help me tell the difference between coins. Because it's kind of tricky to see here on my camera, but there are little tiny ridges on the edge of a dime. So if you run your fingernail over the edge, it will make that buzzy sound. Now, we say dime, dime, little and thin. I remember you're worth 10. Because remember, if we compare this guy to the nickel is much thicker. And a dime is smaller in diameter. That means a round. It's itty bitty. He is the smallest of the American coins. We remember he's worth 10 cents. And our last coin is, that's quarter. We say quarter, quarter, big and bold. You're worth 25, I am told. Now, coins have changed a little bit over the years, so some coins may not have a back that looks exactly the same. This quarter is actually a U.S. Virgin Islands coin. So the back doesn't look quite the same because over the years they've changed the look of some coins, but it's still worth 25 cents. And just like the dime, and this one's easier to see, there are bumps on the edge, and if you run your fingernail over it, it'll make that buzzy sound. And that will help you to tell the difference between a quarter and nickel. I have discovered that a lot of times it's tricky for people to tell the difference. But remember, the quarter is larger and it has the buzzy edges, where a nickel has smooth edges. All right, let's go ahead and play a little game. I'm going to put a coin inside of my bag, and I'm going to give you some hints as to which coin might be in here. So I'm going to tell you about its attributes, or the way it looks, and what its value is, and see if you can guess my coin. The coin inside my bag is large. You think you might have a guess? It has bumpy sides. It is silver or gray in color. It has George Washington on the front. You think you know? It's worth 25 cents. Which one is it? If you guess the quarter, you are correct. This one is quarter, and he's worth 25 cents. Do you remember how to write that? We said that we could write it like this. There's another way to write it as well. If we were wanting to show that there were dollars as well, we could write it like this. There are 25 cents and $0. All right, so you have found, my friend, the quarter. Let's try another. The coin that I have inside of this bag is thick. Are you thinking? It has smooth edges. It has a president on its face. Are you saying right now, Mrs. Williams, they all have a president on their face? You're correct. That was a trick question. It's worth 5 cents. Do you know what it is? It's a nickel. And it's worth how many cents? You're right, it's 5. So let's go ahead and write it here under our nickel so we know we have guessed that coin. Our choices are getting limited. All right, are you ready? The coin inside of this bag is little and thin. It is silver or gray in color. It has bumpy edges. Do you think you know its name? It's the dime. How much is it worth, guys? Yeah, 10 cents. All right, let's go ahead and write its value underneath. Now, who is left? Let's see if you can help me describe it. It's the penny. What do we call its color? It's copper or brown. Do you remember the name of the person on its face? That's President Lincoln. It has smooth edges. And how much is it worth? What is its value? It's 1 cent. Good job, guys. Good remembering. All right, so you'll notice that I have our coins in order of their value. A penny is worth 1 cent. A nickel is worth 5. A dime is worth 10, and a quarter is 25. I've got a little mental math puzzle for you to do. If I were to show you these rows of coins, and ask you which was worth more, what would you say? Let's check and see. Each row has 1, 2, 3, 4 coins. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Each row has 4 coins. How do we know which one is worth more? Well, is it this one because it's big? Or maybe this one's the largest. What do we have to use? We have to use its value. So we're adding on for each coin. Do you think you know which one it is? We know that a penny's worth 1, so we would have to count by what? We'd have to count by ones. Can you do the mental math? This row of pennies is worth, it's worth 4 cents, you're right. Now how do we have to count with the nickels? It's worth how many? Can you count by fives in your head? How many cents do we have? It's 20 cents. Now what's a dime worth? It's worth 10 cents. So what kind of skip counting do we get to do here? Oh, it's that speedy counting by tens. 10, 20. How much did you decide it's worth? This row is worth 40 cents. Now for the quarter. Wow, we have to count by 25s? Okay, well, let's think this through. If we have 25 plus 25, can we use our addition strategies that we've practiced before? We can. So 25 plus 25, we have to put our cent sign in so that we know. 25 plus 25, let's see, what would that give us? 5 plus 5 is 5, 10. We get to move on over. We have a group of 10 that gets to move to the tens house. Now we can add on. 2 plus 2 is 4 plus 1 more is 5. 50 cents. So if 2 quarters is 50 cents, can we add 2 50s? We can. 50 cents plus 50 cents. We know 0 plus 0 gives us 0. And 5 plus 5, 5. 2 5s is 10. Hey, and that gives us $1. And when we have $1, we get to use our decimal point and the dollar sign out front because that means we have 100 cents. So cool. Well, thanks so much for helping me solve our problem. 4 quarters definitely has the largest value. I hope that you had fun learning with me today, and I will see you again soon. Bye.
Teaching in Room 9 is made possible with support of Bank of America, Dana Brown Charitable Trust, Emerson, and viewers like you.